Right. You still crippled?
It's getting better.
Yeah.
I can move it pretty good.
And it's your right hand too.
Huh?
It's your right hand.
Yeah. But I'm left-handed, so.
Oh, well, shit, you're good.
That's fine then. But I really caught hell about a week ago for not wearing a sling.
I bet.
Went outside.
I bet.
So I figured, well, I better.
From the wife or the doctor?
Doctor. He walked his, caught me by accident.
You weren't even going into the doctor?
No.
You
I
just
wasn't
seen him
there to
out
see
and
it.
about?
He seen me from a distance, and boy, did he come. And you know, I was in for therapy then 3 days later, and the therapist, you know, read my record. By God, it's on there.
Well, you can't get away with nothing now.
Oh shit, so if I fell now and hurt it, it's hard saying if there'd be any,
Oh, yeah.
like insurance coverage or anything from here on out. I'd probably be on my own.
Oh, boy.
Oh, if you didn't wear the thing.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but they haven't released it yet, so. Shit. But anyway,
Put your phone in the vibrate.
You been out and about?
Jeff's not gonna be here.
Oh, Jeff's not gonna be here?
No.
No. No. I guess when they came back, they had to come through O'Hare.
So they probably have 14 days quarantine.
I guess there was people sick right in the airport, vomiting and whatnot.
I was wondering, because they were saying them coming off that ship, they probably had to have self-quarantine.
Yeah, we'll be walking around with spacesuits on traffic stops down here pretty soon.
They may decide just to shut everything down and quarantine everybody in their own homes. They were just talking about that on zerohedge.com.
I don't know what I'd do with myself.
I would like it.
Ronnie talked to a guy in Italy over the weekend, and the guy said that they're stuck in their homes, they have nothing else to do, so he's on the radio or reading books. And he said people are just keeling over in the streets, they can't keep up with the cremations. That and tuberculosis in Italy, because they left all the illegals in, you know? And they brought that, well,
refugees.
and they brought that all in, so they're fighting both of them, and they can't even keep up. And he's got a young college student, a Filipino that went to China to the college, and she's in a different province that Wuhan is. But they, you know, right after the Chinese New Year, they closed everything down, so she's been stuck there since then. And the kids that went home, they didn't come back to school, and the dorms now, they just shut down. The whole campus is down, but the international students are stuck. No Wi-Fi, no internet.
No place to live.
She can use her phone, you know, a little bit, and she texts him, you know.
Well, I was telling Drew, I said we're so smart, because I went to church this weekend before she left on this trip, in case their campus shut down and nobody could come go warn her off of it. She took bags and a bunch of bags of stuff over to Tiffany's house, and so if she got back here and couldn't get back on the dorm, she at least had clothes and everything.
Yeah.
I was smart. I wouldn't have thought of that. I've been too busy worried about going to Arizona and having a blast.
Well, hopefully it doesn't get to this point, or at that point at least.
We were hoping it wasn't going to get to this point.
Yeah.
Well, on 20 meters, I talked to a couple of guys in Russia, and it's bad there too. Just like
Yeah.
they don't know what they're going to do with it.
Africa, what is it, at 50 of their different places, 30 of them are all out, right? Well, I'll have to roll that out, right?
I haven't been able to talk to any of the hams in China, so maybe the government put restrictions on it.
Yeah, bad government did something with that.
Yeah,
I would say so.
And same thing with Korea, I couldn't get into that either.
Yeah.
Nobody's on.
Well, I think we'll call the meeting to order. Jeff's not gonna be here, so, did everybody have a chance to read the minutes from the last meeting?
Did.
Is there a motion to approve or not approve?
I'll move.
Larry moved,
I'll second.
Jeff second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Any more items for the agenda?
The one I had on mine, that I'd be attending the spring convention, they have already canceled it, so I have to call and cancel my rooms, and then they'll give us our money back. Other than that was all I had.
John Miller requested some money for fireworks, 4th of July, is that done deal? From what I was talking to Mr. Reiser, he was saying that you guys cut him a check already? No?
Not that I'm aware of.
Only thing I did was sign that he could be able to he would transport the fireworks for the city.
Okay, we'll,
We'll put that on
let's
there.
put it under new business.
We can do that.
can I ask you a question? He's still getting donations, isn't he?
He's looking for donations, yes.
Yeah, you gotta donate for 4th of July,
Yeah, he's looking for donations.
yeah.
I believe he's gonna send out a letter, here very shortly. I don't know if he's gonna send it out to every resident, or, I'm not sure exactly how he's gonna do it.
Yeah, he was just wanting us to bring it up and see if we could give him some. We could.
Any other items for the agenda?
Oh, I do need a motion for the measure 1, which is for the minutes to be printed in the paper. You have to redo that every year, I just need a motion.
Okay. Anything else for the agenda? Motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
The Jeff second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Recognizing visitors. Marilyn, you're down on new business. Do you like to be moved up and recognize the
wanna-
council now?
Yes, I wanna be recognized and talk for just a couple minutes.
Okay, let's, we'll just move you up and do it now.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Oh, that's fine. I'm not
Okay.
going anywhere. From the January and February town minutes, I was getting a couple phone calls from different people in the town asking questions. And after I sat and thought about it and I watched the videos on it, I came up with some questions. And after I read it, because I don't want to take up a lot of time, and you guys need to look at it and see if you even would like to answer it, I hope you do, because I think it's important for all the citizens in Gackle to get the answers, and I think you guys are so busy with everything that you're not understanding that the answers aren't there, as far as we know. So let me read this to you briefly, and then you guys can have, Sherry can make copies. I can leave you have this. There's a couple typos, I apologize, but I didn't catch them until later. Okay, to the City of Gackle Council members. At the January meeting, Council had an accountant present discussing finances. He basically stated that it was not feasible to spend $4 million with only 200 hookups. There was discussion to request a donation to the road project from the School Board Council. Also stated there would be a special council meeting during the month. Did council decide what amount of money they were going to spend on the road project? Was a presentation done at a school board meeting? What was the response? Was a special meeting held? Council picked a road committee and was going to choose a special property assessment committee. Have the committees been set up, people chosen, and who are they? There was discussion with Moore Engineering regarding a company to do core samples on the roads. Moore stated that $10,000 had been budgeted for this. Two companies bid, one was $8,000 and the other $15,000 approximately. Council picked the company with a lesser amount. What was the reason for such a large difference between the two companies? Were all the procedures to be done by the companies necessary and the same? Has street repair committee determined the type of repairs that will be done on each road? At the February meeting, council had Moore Engineering give them their bill for services rendered. The amount will total $500,000. Moore submitted a bill for approximately $325,000. Moore's assessment map was incorrect on at least one property. This was verified by the Treasury Director in Napoleon. Moore was contacted. Tanner Schmidt was the person in charge of the mapping. Tom Clabundi responded back and was given the information, and a corrected map was requested for the person who found the errors. There were actually more than one error. And for the city, Moore stated was not necessary. Will approximately $300,000 be paid to Moore now? Is the $500,000 to be paid to Moore even if the road project is $500,000, $1 million, or $4 million? Which map will council use, since the only map we all have been using is the map of the assessment district printed in paper? Moore also wants to get bidding for the project started and property assessments done. The accountant from the January meeting stated that all property within the assessment area be assessed at 100% to all property owners to avoid any problems. How can bid requests go out if council doesn't have a dollar amount and type of road repairs? What is the time frame for all of this to be done? Doesn't council have to have a dollar amount to work with before council decides on what type of repairs to the roads can be done? Has a decision been made on the 100% assessment for all within the district to avoid any potential lawsuits? There was also a discussion regarding a water pipe break, funding available from the state, and type of repairs to city water system. What is the procedure when there is a water pipe broken to notify residents? Do residents go out to co-op, post office, bank, and city's official Facebook page? Are residents told to boil water? Is testing of our water done, and how often? How is the break fixed, and when? How old are the water pipes in the city? Should the road project be canceled, since water should be a priority and is a necessity for our community? We can't live without clean water, and the roads will have to be torn up to repair the water pipes. At the February meeting, there was a request for the use of the city garbage truck outside of city limits. There are rural garbage companies that will drop a dumpster at any location outside of the city limits and pick up at set times. Did council decide about fees for the use of city truck? Has council decided on fees for extra garbage pickup of large items within the city? What are these fees? The citizens of Gackle need to know what decisions are being made so that citizens can make plans. The use of the city's official Facebook page, in addition to posters at the bank, co-op, post office, is a great way to communicate. Many of our city's citizens live in other areas at different times of the year, and our Facebook page is a great way to communicate using the social media to inform as many citizens as possible. That was it. There's a lot of questions, and that's why I thought I'd read it all to you, because I didn't want to take up your time. And if Sherry wants to make a copy of this, and you can go over it, and each one of you can have it. I don't need it. I apologize for the mess. But I think a lot of those questions are valid, and I think that you guys are so busy if you're not looking at all the details that need to be known to the citizens. That's it.
Any comments?
Not at this time.
I'll copy them so you can look at them and look them over
Okay.
later, for later.
And then, okay, that's council meeting, water problems. Postal mail. I know I see that up here. What was your reference when you, it's just listed as questions from council meeting, water problems and postal mail. What was your question on that? I don't know, was that in there?
The water pipes that, at the last meeting, before the meeting, well, we didn't have a meeting, there was no quorum, but I asked Bill about the water pressure, because people have been calling because the water pressure's been varying at different times, and then they can smell chlorine in the water, and they asked me, and I really don't know what the procedures are for testing our own water. online it says that the water's tested in Lemoore, which is the rural route, like hub, where we get our water from, I believe.
Yep.
Okay, so that means that our water's not being tested here, I believe, I don't know.
It
And
is.
and so maybe we should be testing it, because when the water pipes break, and this has been winter and a terrible winter, you know, there's a lot of chemicals that seep into the pipes from groundwater around it. And we're not letting the residents know that. And I worry about the water with the people. And the other people were worried about it too and questioning it, and I didn't know what to say. And Bill believes there was no more water pipes broken since the guy in the A-frame over there or something broke.
No, I don't think that was even a water line break there. I think that
Okay.
was just from coming down from the street or coming off his yard. I
Okay,
talked to him, when was it, last week or the week before, and I seen he cleaned some of that snow away from the curb there.
yeah,
I don't think there's a leak there.
so
And my
we're-
numbers every day I go check numbers, and you can usually tell how many gallons you're using each day. And then it's been pretty consistent all
Yeah.
winter.
so that's why
So,
I don't know what our procedures are, and maybe we never even thought about it, but, there are some people that are concerned about the drinking water for the kids.
The water gets tested here.
The water,
the state makes us do a water test every month. Once
You
a
do?
month. I do.
okay,
And there's 3 locations in town that we do that.
okay. And what about water pressure? Do you check the water pressure at different locations to see if it's all the same or no? Somebody
there's
called and said
only-
they had, I don't know the mechanics, so I apologize, but they had some kind of special filters, not a reverse osmosis. And they said they were getting, like grains of sand in the filters. And, we have a reverse osmosis and we've never had that. But, you know, I said, I have no idea what we do in our town. But I think it's important to think about it. If we don't have procedures set up, then maybe we should be
Well,
doing
if
it.
there's a water break, we're gonna,
Yeah,
wherever the water break is at, wherever block it's on that we have to shut down, we'll notify you. And then we'll have to have somebody come in and dig it up
yeah,
and fix it.
yeah. I would think that, right.
That's,
But it's really hard during this winter. This has been a bad winter for all that stuff.
well, this winter wasn't as bad as last winter. Last winter was a lot colder than this winter was.
And then if there was a break, even though you ordered it to get fixed, then, you know, does the city notify everybody? Put it on Facebook for everybody to know, and I don't know if that's done. I'm not on
I guess we
Facebook,
could, I
so,
guess I'm not on Facebook either,
yeah.
so.
As far as the pressure, we never did we have a gauge right here on the tower. The tower determines the pressure of the city. It has nothing to do with pumps. I would venture to say, when the tower failed 2 years ago, we did go to VFDs with transducers, and they're doing it down at the city well house. Then, yes, and we had 5 gauges out. I think one up on that end of town, on the east end of town. One was up at our shop. One was in our house, and and there were variations on the far end. And the reason for that, because we were reading the pressure right down at the pumps. So it's gonna be more of a fluctuation. Since we went back to the tower, that gauge virtually doesn't move, and it doesn't make any difference which meter we read.
Yeah,
So what I've seen over the years, when people have a pressure issue, 90% of the time it's within the home. We've got old homes here that still have galvanized lines or galvanized fittings, and it could be one stinking little elbow.
yeah.
And what's happening, they're restricting their own water supply.
Well, I think it came all up, Lauren, because Moore suggested that there was money available to work on the water pipes. And that, I don't
Ours are
remember
too new,
exactly, this was in
Yeah.
February.
We've looked at, our pipes are way too new for any of
The
that.
what?
All the water lines in Gackle are non-metallic or plastic.
The water pipes and the pumping station and the tower. And Laura said you had to look into it, and you guys would give maybe 30 days or something to apply for the money or the grant. And I think that's when, you know, people were talking about the water and, you know, how is it monitored in our city, and do we give, you know, notices out in different places so everybody knows it? And that's why that all came up.
Yeah, the water lines are all done metallic. The last one was replaced when we did the SER project, and that's 7 years ago or 8. There was a short stretch, I think about 200 and some feet. That was the old duct tile up in that corner of town, and that was replaced when we did the SER lines. The rest is all plastic that was put in the 70s, I think, somewhere around there. And as far as the testing, you can do it monthly, right?
Yep.
And that's a state requirement, that's no
Oh, yeah,
questions
yeah.
asked.
You miss
Right.
1 month and
Yeah.
you're in trouble.
Right.
And if it just turns out no good, they send it back to you and tell you that.
It's
Thank
been
you.
years since we've had a water issue as far as having to boil waters, any of that stuff. It's been several years since we've had to deal with that.
Okay, what about postal? You mentioned water, postal, if you're questioning, I brought it up, I think, at the January council meeting. You know, with the water bills going out, we had people and I don't know where the problem is. I mean, I'm not experienced, and I don't think anybody else is either right here to go how the postal service operates.
It sucks right now.
It
In
wasn't,
this state-
it wasn't intended to go after the postal service. So what the intent was, when I brought it up, was that if there's residents that don't get their card by the 25th or whatever, give a call to the office
Yeah.
so that we can get them a card.
I didn't have anything down on my paper about.
Oh, when you booked yourself here, you had postal up there too as well.
Where?
Yeah.
You told
When
me
you-
that you were gonna, that's what you wanted to be on the agenda for.
Yeah, no, I didn't discuss postal.
Right.
But I will tell you that, which I didn't know either, that the state, because of the feds and the finances, they took all the sorting out of Jamestown. So it's only sorted in Bismarck and Fargo. And even if I put in a mail to Gackle, from Gackle, it doesn't go here to Gackle, it goes to Jamestown first and then Fargo and then back. And that seems ridiculous to me, you know? I mean, absolutely ridiculous. But
We don't have any control over that.
Yeah.
But that's how, the what, hon? I didn't hear you, Jeff.
I said we don't have any control over that.
No, but, and neither does the postmaster here in the office, you know, in her office.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's when I think the city needs to do an official letter or find out what the appropriate steps are to get it documented that they're having problems, because if more and more small towns let the feds know, then maybe they would change. I have no idea what the finances are and the dollar amount, and why they decided to do that, but they cut it.
And did you see the news on Channel 5?
No,
You see, we had a council meeting January, whatever it was. And on that Wednesday evening, there was Mr. Hoven had a special hearing in Bismarck with the Postal Service reps and residents of Bismarck, Mandan. It was kind of ironic
yeah.
about
Everybody's upset about it in the state because the
Yeah,
mail's
so it's not
really
just-
bad right now.
here.
Yeah, I agree.
And that was on Channel 5 on the Wednesday after our meeting here. And I don't know if anything's changed. I had no clue.
Yeah.
Okay, then you're gonna run us copies of concerns.
Mhm.
Okay, auditor, or city maintenance. You go
I
first.
guess I got a couple things, I guess. One, up at our shop up there, we were talking about, there are no fire hydrants, you know, in the building, but there is on the trucks and stuff. We were wondering if we should put fire hydrants in the building,
Extinguishers?
You don't have an
or
ordinance.
extinguishers, yeah.
No. Is that a code, or is that something we gotta do, or is that just something you want to think?
Well, the Nardini guys suggested we should. Suggested 3 of them, 1 by each,
Exit.
door, and then 1 in that office
Is that
area.
motion required or?
I think it actually is, and you know, I really screwed up. We had see, community development owns that building,
Right.
and we had a meeting a week ago or so,
Yeah.
and I was gonna bring it up, and I completely spaced it out.
I think it's something we can just, I mean, they come down and inspect all the other buildings, fire hall.
Yeah, we
Let's
almost
just put
need to
that
do
on the
that.
list.
Huh?
We almost need to do that.
Cause he said it takes 3, right?
Yep.
3 extinguishers for the building, and they're about $100 a piece.
Who would be responsible for that? Community
You know,
development?
really, it's community development's building.
Yeah.
I say just do it.
Right.
Don't worry about it later on, something happens.
Let's just get him on that
Yeah.
cycle of putting him in 3.
I think it needs to be done. We'll just figure out who pays for it later.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just let him know
Yep.
that we can get that done. You got him in your trucks, you got him on the loader.
Loader, no, we don't have one in the tractor, but 1 in the loader and then 1 in
Okay.
garbage truck.
Yeah, we can get that done, that's.
Yeah, I think we need to do it.
We need a motion for that one.
You know, maybe it really would be, I feel it should be the community development's responsibility. They own the property.
Yeah,
So if the city pulls out, you know, those extinguishers stay with the building.
yeah.
Okay.
So why don't we just,
We'll go ahead and do it, Bill, and then
Mhm.
give it to community development. Well, I'm chairman, I should only get it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll give him a call then.
And that's kind of an important thing.
anything else?
I remember last fall, I think it was, or last spring, something to do with the tarring machine,
Yeah.
because we're gonna have new streets or newer streets.
Right.
We should probably get a decent tarring machine. You know, the tar buckets, what were they, like $700 a piece just for a tar bucket?
But the machine itself was taking place at a tar bucket, right?
Exactly, and it'd only take
And it
2
was
people. to run it.
3,500 for the machine?
The machine was about 6.
Oh,
I think if you got it in, ordered it in the fall, it was a little cheaper.
well,
I mean,
I think we need to really figure out what we're gonna do with the roads and get that started before we get too crazy about a tar machine. That tar
Right.
machine's not gonna do you a bit of good right now.
right, no, it's,
But once we get that established, we definitely need to get that started.
Yep.
My opinion.
Any other comments on it?
You know, as long as we remember in the fall, I guess.
Yes,
yeah.
bring that up,
Yep.
especially if we get our roads started up.
Yep.
We'll get your tar machine.
And that was about it. Unless you guys had something that came up.
We still got all that wood product out there at the dump. And we applied for a burn variance. And the city just got the letter today, we can burn it anytime. So I talked to Bill a little bit this morning. We were thinking of lighting it Wednesday morning, if wind conditions are right,
Right.
like tomorrow or Wednesday. And there's a couple things we have to do. We have to notify the fire department. We have to notify the sheriff's department. And then he notifies 911, I guess. Correct?
Yep.
And,
Okay.
so
Wednesday.
hopefully we can get that. Because I put down March, that gave us 2 weeks, you know, just depending on the wind conditions. But hopefully we can get it done this week. Anything else, Bill?
I think so.
Okay, Sherry,
Okay, just, I said before, the spring convention that I was gonna go to has already been canceled because of coronavirus. So that I don't have to ask permission for. I need you to give me a motion for measure 1, which is the minutes to be printed in the paper. Every year you have to do that.
So move that Tri-County News our official paper.
Yep.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Larry, second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, and then I have one more thing. Because of what happened, in light of what happened here at the hall, if you see, I put a sign up on the door. City Hall's hours are from 11 to 1 on Thursdays, but the door will remain locked and you'll knock and I'll let you in. So that way I don't have to have somebody sitting here with me in the office. Is that okay with you guys? Because I know you told me I couldn't open for a while, but if I kept the door locked and I don't work all day like I normally did and just did 11 to 1 for a while until everything calms down, I'm okay with it. Because if I see the person is the person I don't want to be here, then I will make a phone call real fast and I won't open the door.
I don't see a problem with that.
And I think that's no more than fair, just for her safety. Because I'm not sure, I come down and sat with her from 11 to 1. And I'm not so sure what he would have done had he been here, had she been here alone, how he would have acted.
Okay, that's not right.
He's unpredictable.
Very unpredictable.
And when he seen that I was here and I think it tuned him down. He was still kind of rather, I thought, rude and ugly, but I let him go for a bit and he, I think, got the warning on his own. That was time for him to leave.
That's more than fair.
And then, I don't know if there's something you guys wanna think, something for you guys to think about, the phone calls that I get on my private cell phone. Lauren did have to finally take my phone and take it because the two of them were nonstop, and it was very harassing, very ugly, calling me names.
Nobody should have your cell phone to begin with.
This phone here, you can't call out long distance, so I make a lot of phone calls from my personal phone to call people back, to leave messages, and I have a lot that text me. There are a few that will text me at midnight to tell me they paid the water bill, or Jeff was saying something about maybe we just need to get one cell phone just for here.
What's long distance cost? $15 a month? I mean, why do we not being able to call long distance on this cell phone? Or on this landline?
I don't know, and we only open 1 day a week, so I have to come down here and check the
Well,
machine 2 days a week.
I don't think there's any reason a cell phone should be, especially a personal cell phone, involved.
Well, mine
You know,
is,
the only thing is,
a lot of
if you had
people call
a
mine.
city cell phone, she could take it home.
Well, it's not gonna
You know,
solve
if
the
she's
problem.
Well, she'd have the option if she wants to answer it or not. You know, if somebody wants to get a hold of,
Yes, it goes to voicemail.
like during the week, or during the night, or whatever, if there is something,
Mhm.
and they call City Hall, well, there's no way
Yeah.
that anybody's gonna know till morning again.
I just don't understand why we're texting people at midnight saying pay your water bill.
It's
Just let them
funny.
ruin it for themselves and be done with it. I mean,
Don't
she's-
reply to stuff like that, by no means.
Nice enough knowing for from 11 to 1, you wanna ruin it, then just be done with it, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I did let her know the next morning, that is not, but that's not, I get a lot of other
You know,
text
it would be
messages.
a track phone, I suppose, that'd be paid on.
Well, let's just table that and think about that, because I know I had to hand Lauren my phone because it was getting so out of hand that day with
What
that
would you
problem.
prefer, long distance here or cell phone, I guess?
I guess just a cheap old cell phone that I block everybody else from my phone, and I could answer, I do have some residents that I do, they ask me questions and I'll get it back, or they wanna go on the agenda or whatever. I don't mind doing that, but I would turn it off at a certain hour at night. I don't turn my personal one off because I have
You
children.
can receive them, I guess, do you have to call out long distance?
Yeah, we have a lot of people with numbers for long distance. And a lot of your companies that call here are long distance.
Can you do call forwarding from here?
I wouldn't think something like that would be.
Can you check and see what long distance would cost?
Yep, I can.
Why don't we do that? Just check and see what it would cost and
I
what
just don't
options,
feel,
what our options are.
a cell phone might not be the answer to that. I don't know, maybe not. The track phone, I hear what you're saying with the track phone, you pay by minutes.
I mean, that wouldn't even, well, but then, you know, people, can they text you on that and stuff?
I
Because
just feel like a lot of these issues should be brought to the council, not so much the auditor though, right? Or what? Instead of, you can't make these decisions anyway.
If they're
You know what I
concerned
mean? It's supposed
about
to be
major
up to-
water bills or what have you, I think that it needs to be forwarded to one of us. Or forward to the,
Right.
I have a question. That behavior that Sherry had to put up with, and I don't know too much about it, but just listening to you guys, is unacceptable. And why weren't the police called and something filed with that?
We were
They were,
contacted.
they were.
Because that's terrible. And she should, if she's here alone, have the door locked. She's got a big window she can look through.
Right.
She's 20
and,
feet.
and that's.
That's why we're just making sure everything's,
Right.
that's which, because I wanna make sure you, I don't wanna have to call you a treat. I don't have no problem coming sitting down here. But I want the door locked.
Coming up here either. so.
Huh?
I don't have a problem coming up here either.
Well,
I
if I
think
keep
any
the
of
door
us
locked,
do.
I don't have anybody coming in unexpected.
Right.
And, you know, from the beginning, I always had a thing with Kevin was when, if I went to the door, cause I do work here more than Thursday. If I went to the door and I didn't know the person, cause I'll answer, I open the door and help anybody whenever I'm down here. If I didn't know him, I would just call Kevin and he would answer, I would just hold the phone down until I figured out who it was. So that way if I needed help, I could say help real fast. But,
You know, like that day, I tried calling law enforcement. But you know, if they're in Napoleon, that's an hour's away.
Yeah.
That's an hour away.
Yeah.
Now, if she'd have been alone, I mean, by the time she calls law enforcement, granted. But if this guy goes over the deep end, you know, damage is done.
Right.
So, and he's out of here. Well, sure, they can go find him, but you're not gonna redo the damages.
Yeah.
I just wanna be able to lock the door when I'm here, that's all.
Yeah.
That's good with you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I guess look into the long distance and all their call
Yeah.
forwarding or a cell phone, I guess.
Check into our options and see.
I just don't think this should be permitted on any of these phones, so,
Absolutely not.
and whether it be your personal or the city phone, it's still
No.
gotta be done.
What little babies
Right.
do, yeah.
But it's just, you know, he called, what, 3 times within, you know, she got, get him on
I had to
the
hang up
phone,
twice
he
after being
called,
called
yeah,
names.
twice you hung up on him.
I
The first
hung up
time
on
I
him
took
twice.
the phone and finally.
But that, I had voicemails on my on my phone, personal phone for 2 days about it. Okay, now I'm done.
Okay. Water, sewer, and policing.
Nothing.
As far as the sewer, you know, one thought I had, and I don't know where it's gonna end up at with this, viral thing. You know, there's toilet paper shortage. Now supposedly, yesterday at Walmart, supposedly, even the paper towels were sold out.
Well, they are, I was up to Bismarck this weekend.
Don't
What
be cutting
worries-
them in half and use them in our sewer.
What, that's the part that worries me. We don't have a problem now, and I think we just leave it alone for now, but
But I see that
if we
happening.
start seeing toilet paper.
Blue shop towels.
Towels in the sewer system, we better get on top of it. If we don't plug those lines, something fierce.
Yes.
And at least, if nothing else, verbally get the word out. For God's sake, people, if you have to reference back to the paper towels, don't put them in the toilet. Even though that damn bag says flushable, they are not flushable. Because they don't deteriorate. We've seen it with tampons, we've seen it with baby wipes. Same damn thing, they don't deteriorate and they get slugged into the lines. I think, actually my past experience it's been more within the private line. We got all plastic sewer lines and they're pretty smooth, so usually they keep flowing. But these older homes with the cast pipes that have a lot of corrosion in them, it's gonna plug them tighter than hell. And it's a private issue then, yes. But still, they're gonna be calling on us, you can count on it.
Put something in the paper, be responsible, act like an adult.
Yeah. So,
Sherry, did you buy a new computer for $1,500 and 18 cents? Or
Yep.
is that what that is?
That's my new laptop.
Okay, perfect.
Actually, we bought it in November, but they didn't bill us out until, and they got paid at the end of December, so it comes through on January.
Okay, that's my only question I had on.
Yep, that was the new computer. The other one was not up to par
I see
anymore.
we pay Bill too much.
Parks, streets, lighting, and library. Yep.
Lights, apparently last month I was gone and there was several lights out, on the east side of town, and I see they're working now. So apparently Jeff had got a hold of, and they are working. Any other lights that you know of, I drove around the other day, saw that they were all working, so.
Yeah, Otter Tail. I know
Yeah.
they're doing a lot of work over here on the main transmission line, and
Sure.
they did give them a break.
There were quite a few out from what I understood,
Yeah.
2 or 3 of them, so.
They got them in town.
Okay. They're fixed. So.
Garbage, airport, ambulance, and health.
Nothing.
Fire and building, Jeff Reiser, building permit for Jeff Reiser. Bathroom remodel. The American Legion Hall over here, put in new windows. That's the only 2 I have.
Okay.
So motion to approve the
I'll make
permit.
a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
More engineering, street project. I guess.
Well, I only put that on there because they were gonna come down last time. And then they didn't come, but what they did say was, let me see where my note was from Moore, because they called, because his child had the flu. That they completed the street course soil boring, that were put it on our next meeting, which would be April 6th. But his child had the flu, so he couldn't make it down.
And what Jeff Reiser told me, the assessment committee, they're really struggling. They can't. And then there's also issues with the state bank. Even though that loan was approved, that doesn't guarantee us the loan. So there's a lot of issues that have to get worked through.
Okay.
Is more gonna be coming down then next meeting, or?
They hopefully
Have
can
a
have,
special meeting, or what?
yeah, that they hope coming down the next meeting,
April?
yeah. And I think the core examples were supposed to be, so they have a better handle on what's what. The Worzer abatement, isn't
The
that?
Worzer abatement, that has now, and we did it already. And what, I don't know if you brought it up because if anybody heard. All right, when we did that abatement in December, that was our second abatement, so I knew what I had to do, and I mailed it off the next day after we did the abatement. And I just got a call from Trish over there, and they never received it. So luckily, I decided to make my own filing system here on abatement, so if we have to look back, we'd have a copy of them. So I sent her the copy of it, and she's hoping that'll work, because the original was lost in the mail.
Interesting.
But I did have a copy to send to her, so she said she was gonna probably try to push that through.
Okay. Any other old business?
I wasn't here, so I don't really know what you guys discussed.
New business, like I said, more engineering.
The SAM account is back up and running.
They're still, and they're working with the assessment committee, so that's kind of hanging in limbo. Fireworks donation.
He was looking for 500.
Is that what we did last year?
Yes.
Yeah,
He's lost a lot of revenue income as far as donations. he was looking at $500 again this year. That's what he was looking at.
I'll move to make a donation of $500 to
Larry moved, is there a second?
Second.
Andy second, all in favor?
Right?
fire.
Opposed?
So do I just write him out a check for that then?
Yep,
Right.
Okay.
just write it to Gackle Fireworks,
Write it to Gackle Fireworks?
yep. And you can just drop it at the bank, he's got a separate,
Anybody
He does
that
have a
wants to
separate
do any
fund.
donations of any kind, he's got a fund at the bank, he can just drop it off at the bank.
Okay.
okay, bills.
Sorry, I jumped ahead of that, I apologize for that, on the bills.
Bills. Any changes or questions?
I didn't see anything other than that one.
And if not, is there a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Date and time of next meeting, April 6th,
Yep.
7 o'clock. Work for everybody?
I think 7's our new number.
And then if no other business, motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Second.
Larry made a motion, Andy second, all in favor?
Wait.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Alright, I'll copy these for you guys.
Let's see if there's any left in the ambulance meeting.
Tonight,
Huh?
you know what the training is?
Yeah, I don't.